is public information. All videos, songs, and graphics used in the video belong to their respective owners. I claim ownership of all produced video content on this channel and video. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
He spoke, he spoke, he spoke, he spoke. Fashion, I'm telling he spoke, he spoke, he spoke, he spoke. Fashion, I'm so bad. He spoke, he spoke, he spoke, he spoke. Fashion, I'm telling he spoke.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us live tonight on HeSpoke Fashion Live. I am your host, Dayline Thomas, and I'm so glad that you took this opportunity to join us. Go ahead and tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that we here live, and we have a great show in store for you tonight. And listen, to my YouTube audience, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that alarm button, that alert button, because you want to be notified every time we go live. Listen, we have a great show in store for you, and I am so excited because, listen, we've been dealing with this show, The Bachelor. And just to set this up, I don't know if you've been watching The Bachelor at any time this year, but this particular season is special because it is the first time. And this is the 25th season of the show, but it is the first time that they have a brother. Yes, I said it. They have a brother. That's him right there. That's him right there, Mr. Matt James. They have him now as the Bachelor. And Matt, I told you guys the other week that Matt impressed me. But let's just dig right into the show tonight. We're talking about the Beauty and the Beast. You got that right. We're talking about Beauty and the Beast. And how I want to talk about that for a moment because when I started dealing with this particular topic, the first thing that comes to mind is actually the story, the beautiful story of the Beauty and the Beast. And in that particular story, we all know the story, it's very familiar. The Beast is actually the man. The man is the Beast. And I want to look at that because so many times we always put the ownership of the beast being on the man. But could it be that in certain cases, the man isn't the beast? We're going to talk about that tonight. Come on, go ahead and hit like and share. I know let's dig deep into this. So on this particular episode, this was an episode when Matt had another opportunity to do a group date as well as individual dates. And you say, well, where is the fashion content? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be quite honest with you. There are certain ones that you have to dig a little bit deeper at this point to see their fashion content or their fashion expression. I would say that this is a wasted opportunity for many of them. Why? Because this is your opportunity to shine. And I want you to know, to all my beautiful butterflies out there, that fashion does add an advantage. When you walk into the room and you're fashionable, we take note. And this show is geared to help you gain the attention, the proper attention that you deserve from men, the proper attention. And so in this episode, I'm watching the activities, I'm watching the drama, but I'm signaling in on the fashion. What is the fashion value in this particular episode? And so there were a few that were what I would consider to be very fashionable. There was a young lady that is actually from the great state of North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina in particular. And her last name was a very familiar last name. I know a few Epps in Durham, North Carolina. And here she is. Very, very fashionable. Her name is Kaylin Epps. And again, I noted from Kaylin because, again, you have to take the opportunity to make your fashion statement when you get it. And I noted that while many of the butterflies on the show, yes, I did say butterflies, many of the butterflies on the show, while they had on maybe not fashionably dressed, maybe the lack of makeup thereof, but Kayla took the time and made the effort to make sure that her face was beat from the guys. Yes, I said it again, beat from the guys. She made certain to make sure that the makeup was proper. And then she coupled that with the proper dress. And so this is a beautiful dress, and this is a similar dress to that I noted that you can get this dress from Saks or Fifth. So a beautiful number here that Kaylin is wearing. And I did notice that the interaction that she was having with Matt. And again, women, let me remind you, my beautiful butterflies, let me remind you that fashion speaks for itself. Fashion says something about you long before you open your mouth. And so Kaylin Epps, she did a great job. Let's show another photo of Kaylin. I think she had a beautiful red dress on. And that may not be a red dress. But however, it kind of matches what I have on. But she would match my fly, I guess, if we were walking in together. What can I say? Women, let me ask you a question. When you're with your husband, when you're with your significant other, when you're with that dude, let me ask you, do you match his fly? See, that's what we want to know. We want to know that, listen, when we get suited and booted, when we get dipped in chrome, we want to know, can you match our fly? I just said something there. Can you match our fly? And so, listen, Kaylin is doing a great job. She's showing Matt that, hey, whatever you can do, I can do it better. That's what we like. We love it. We love it when you match our fly. And then guess what? We even love it even the more when you exceed our expectation. Listen, when you get fly, when you get the lips, the hips, and the fingertips done, listen, we applaud it and we love it when you do that. Yes, so let's move on here. So nevertheless, there were others that were fashionably dressed, but I want to talk about the statement. I made this statement in my post. One of the things that Coco Chanel said, and the quote simply had to do with the fact that it's not just about elegance. It's just not about what you have on. Elegance is from the inside out. Wow, did you hear that? From the inside out. So we're constantly looking at the exterior, but sometimes the interior exposes who you are past what you're wearing. Oh my God. Did you hear what I just said? It says simply, when you put on the Louis Vuitton, when you put on the Givenchy, when you wear the Alexander McQueen and the Bottega Veneta and the Balenciaga, and I can go on, the Christian Dior, the Chanel, whatever you're wearing, when you put it on, the Saint John, when you're putting it on, who you are will still be exposed. Fashion covers up the outside, but who you are will be exposed. So this is what we want to deal with. Let me holler at my brothers real quick. Let me holler at you real quick. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the most beautiful, fashionably wonderful, exquisite, elegant woman? And she's maybe standing off to the side, and you approach her, and you start to converse with her. And then the moment she opens her mouth, you find out that although the exterior looks wonderful, on the inside, there's something rotten. Okay, go ahead and hit that bruh sound effect. Go ahead and hit that bruh. I'm telling you, it happens. It happens. You're like, bruh, really, really. And so what I want to do for my butterflies, I want to start off with, I want to share this. I want to share, first of all, let's start with, of course, the women who consider themselves to be queens, you beautiful Black queens. Let's start with that. I want to show you through this video, and while we're setting that up, this video footage of Queen Victoria. And many of us, again, we know ourselves to be kings and queens. And so I just want to set this up because I want to ask you a question. Are you truly a queen? Yes, you have it all put together on the outside. We're looking. But are you truly a queen? Let's watch this. Great, great, great. Wow, did you see that? The queen arrived in all her regalia, and the chariot and her Prince Charming to be is waiting. And again, queen on the outside. Fashionably, she's wonderfully dressed, very beautiful gown, queen on the outside. My question is she a queen on the inside? My question for you is, are you a queen on the inside? Let me ask you again. Go ahead and put it in the comment section. If you're a queen, don't be afraid to say, I am a queen. My beauty doesn't just show up on the outside, but on the inside, I am a queen. Now let's go a little bit deeper. So we see how the beauty shows on the outside. But I want to have a bit of fun here. Let's go ahead and run the clip from The Beauty and the Beast.
I thought I told you to come down to dinner.
I'm not hungry.
You'll come out or I'll I'll break down the door.
Master. He spoke. He spoke. He spoke. He spoke.
Wow. Wow. Let me tell you, I had to actually just go and revisit this movie. And when I came upon that particular part of the animation, I'm telling you, it speaks volumes because it speaks exactly to what the point we're trying to make on tonight in part of this discussion. Victoria arrived as a queen, exquisitely dressed in all her elegance, in all her royalty, beautiful. But now I want to go to a particular part that shows perhaps a glimpse of what's on the inside of Miss Victoria, or Queen Victoria, as she wants to be called. Let's look at this. And while she's setting that up, listen, go ahead. If you haven't already, let me say this again to my YouTube audience. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the alert button so that you can be notified every time we go live. And listen, all of my butterflies, all of my friends and family and everyone else that are on Facebook, go ahead and share this video. You want to share with everyone because we're going to begin to have some of my special friends here, my colleagues in the fashion industry. We're going to have them come and join us, and we're going to talk fashion. And listen, I am going to share with you some of my own skills. Yes, there was at one time when I did have my own fashion label, and I am going to share with you some of my product. How about that? And live on this show, you're going to see my master tailor skill sets. Yes, I said it. So go ahead and hit like and share this with everyone you know. Are we ready to start that video? We'll be right back right after this.
And like she just like cries to like manipulate situations, and she's just like straight up toxic. So like I had to sleep on the couch temporarily because having that in the house, it's really hard, and I don't think like you've had that experience. So like it was crazy.
Wow. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This couldn't be more than the pot calling the kettle black. We can already see that Queen Victoria is messy. She's messy. I said it. And a lot of times, what really does you is disingenuous at best. Doesn't do you any good to be very fashionable on the outside and to be messy on the inside. The beauty and the beast. In this case, we see that the beast and the beauty are the woman. We want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you. So let me ask you a few questions. Are we ready with our questions? Let's go to our questions here. Let's start with the money part. Let me ask you, are you getting the bag? You see that? Are you getting the bag? My beautiful butterflies, come on and put those dollar signs in the comments. Are you getting the bag? For some of us that may not understand that type of language, that means, are you getting paid? Are you getting the money? My beautiful butterflies, I know that you're educated, you're career-oriented women, and I know that you're getting the bag. So go ahead and hit some comments in there, put some thumbs up. Yes, I'm getting the bag. Check. You can hit that. Bing. Yes, you're getting the bag. Many of us can check that box. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to be honest with you. Men, we love a woman who's able to get the bag. I applaud you. So you can check that box. What about your fashion? Are you high fashion? Many of us, again, we can check that box. Very good. You can check that box. We applaud that because this is what it's all about. Our objective here. HeSpoke Fashion. It is our passion, women's fashion, from a man's perspective. And so we want to assist you, to help you, to make the right fashion choices so that you can make the right fashion statements. Are you high fashion? You can check that box. Let me ask you this question. Are you a boss? Right there. Are you a boss? Because, the vernacular of this age is, I'm a boss. I'm a boss chick. I'm a boss. The old days, you would have to rely on a man to do certain things. No, I own my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. Are you a boss? Check. You can check that box. And let me tell you, we don't mind. There's no competition. We're not competing with each other. Let's make that plain and clear. If you're a boss and I'm a boss, we can come together and do boss things. We applaud that. There's no competition here. We love that and we adore that about you. But let's go to the next thing. Do you have a winning personality? What is that? Price and Right? That is the part that we want to work on. That is the part, that the beast part. We want you to be the beauty, because you can be a beautiful butterfly. We want that part. So the winning personality may just be the part that you're working on. But we know that Victoria is not. She's not working on the personality. She needs to work on her personality. Let's go to one more video with Queen. Let me put the air quotes up now. With Queen Victoria. Let's while we're setting that up, we're going to dig into this just a few more moments here, because listen, we want you to be able to engage us, and what we're looking to do, we're going to start having the feature where you can call in and we can have a great conversation. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear exactly what you're thinking about this platform. We want to help the young entrepreneur to develop, to start their own, to launch their platforms from this show. Yes, we want to give them the opportunity to do that. We want to give the opportunity for you to hear firsthand from personal stylists and people that own their own boutiques. We want to do that here, right here live on HeSpoke Fashion. Listen, we're going to go to Victoria and Maryland. We want to set this up. We're looking at, again, Queen Victoria, and this is a transformation. She started off as the beauty. Now she's going towards the beast. Watch this, and we'll be right back.
Have a conversation outside?
You can sit there and we can have a talk. I'm not going outside. It's freezing. We'll give you guys a moment.
Okay.
It's like you can sit there.
Can I sit here?
Sure, and I'll sit there. I don't want to sit next to you.
All right.
So that way you can look me in the face and say, like, if anything I said wasn't the truth.
Okay, I think that there's a lot of miscommunication here. Okay.
I'm listening. What do you have to say?
Okay, it's a little bit loud. Do you mind if I just sit here?
No, I don't want to sit next to you.
All right, I'm just gonna speak my heart to you.
What?
Wow. Need I say more? This is the transformation. I know these shows, they like to have a villain in the show. Victoria seems to be the villain, in my opinion. This Queen Victoria, the crown is definitely sinking. But again, we're just enjoying ourselves on tonight. Listen, I know that we've had a great time tonight, and I had a few other photos I want to share, but let's do this. I want you to come back and join us on next week, where we'll have an even greater show as we go through this show, The Bachelor. Matt James, I'm rooting for you. Really, I am. I want you to make the right choice. And listen, as the show goes on, let me tell you, Matt, I'm talking to you, father to son. I want you to make the best choice. When they start wearing the fashionable outfits, listen, applaud them, but go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper. And listen, I know that that's what it's all about. Yes, we're talking about fashion, and you can dress up the best that you to your ability, and you can wear the finest garments that money can buy. But we want to make sure that at your core, that the inside is just as beautiful as the outside. Listen, I like to leave you with a story. Let me just share this. And this is an opportunity. This is a chance or a time and an occasion where fashion saved me. There was a time, I think I was probably about 23 or 24 years old. And I was in court. No one likes to be in court, but I was in court. And let me tell you if this experience, let me ask you if this experience has ever happened to you. So I'm in court, and it was traffic court. I had gotten a ticket. I missed my first traffic court date, and my lawyer made certain that I had another date in front of the particular judge that he wanted me to be seen. Of course, this particular time, I went to the courtroom, and for some reason, I was in there for a speeding ticket, but I was in the same courtroom with people who had drug charges. You heard me right. So, of course, it was in the afternoon. I really didn't know what was going on until I sat there for a few minutes, and I started to see a couple of the cases that were before mine. And this particular case, and the courtroom was being emptied out. And guess what? The people weren't leaving, going out the door. These people were leaving handcuffed, going out the opposite way. So here I am, shaking in my boots, waiting for the judge to call up my case, or the bailiff to call up my case. And so the short of it is, right before my case, they ushered this young gentleman in that was handcuffed, and they brought him in from the back. And he came in, and this particular young man had zero respect for the court of law, zero respect for the judge, zero respect for himself. And yet here I am next in line. And this guy was disrespecting the judge. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, why? Why are you disrespecting the judge? And I'm the only one left. So I waited patiently. You know, the guy must have known that he was already locked up, and it didn't really matter what they were going to do in that courtroom that day. So nevertheless, they called me up, and I stood there, and this was my first time ever being in court. And I stood there, and they began to read off the charges, And the judge, I stood there, and the judge said, Mr. Thomas, he said, I really appreciate your respect for the court. He said, I watched you. You waited patiently. You didn't make a lot of noise. A lot of attention wasn't drawn to you. And I especially like how you as a young man have shown your respect for this court by the way you're dressed. Did you hear what I said? I walked into the courtroom. I wasn't wearing Hugo Boss at the time. I was probably wearing Jones, New York. But let me tell you, it was pressed. The shirt was white and clean, and the necktie was tied properly. I tied it myself, one of my first times. But nevertheless, let me tell you, that day, because of the way that I was dressed, the judge complimented me, and I walked away without having to pay a court fee, nor having the ticket go against my driver's license. Fashion does matter. Fashion changes people's perspective of who you are. Listen, we've had a great time together, and I thank you for joining us. What fashion choices are you going to make this week? Will you allow your fashion statement to speak so loud that people change their opinion about you? I know that you will. Why? Because you're a butterfly and you're going to fly high. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again on next week.
Fashion, I'm telling him. He spoke, he spoke, he spoke, he spoke. Fashion, I'm so bad. He spoke, he spoke, he spoke, he spoke. Fashion, I'm telling